more Jewish noises!
Let me be pardoned as an old philologist who cannot philologist. For me, it just says philologist.
I guess you're right. I'm adding an I that isn't there subconsciously. You're right.
Who cannot desist from the mischief of putting his finger on bad modes of interpretation.
Putting his finger in the bum?
Conformity to laws. The law, of which you physicists talk so proudly as though why it exists only owing to your interpretation and bad philology. It is no matter of fact, no text, but rather just a naively humanitarian adjustment and perversion of meaning, with which you make abundant concessions to the democratic instincts of the modern soul. Everywhere equality before the law, nature is not different in that respect, nor better than we, a fine instance of secret motive in which the vulgar antagonism to everything privileged and autocratic, likewise a second and more refined atheism is once more disguised. I'm not even bothering. That also is what you want, that, and therefore cheers for natural law. Is it not so? But
ni dio ni matre? Matre? Yeah, no, fuck it.
Yeah, that also
ni dio ni matre. It's French. There we go.
Yeah. That also is what you want, and therefore cheers for natural law. Is it not so, but as has been said, that is interpretation, not text, and somebody might come along who with opposite intentions and modes of interpretation could read out of the same nature, and with regard to the same phenomena, just the tyrannically inconsiderate and relentless enforcement of the claims of power. An interpreter who should so place the unexceptionalness and unconditionalness of all will to power before your eyes that almost every word and the word tyranny itself would eventually seem unsuitable, or like a weakening and softening metaphor, as being too human, and who should nevertheless end by asserting the same about this world as you do, namely, that it has a necessary and calculable course, not however because laws obtain in it, but because they are absolutely lacking, and every power affects its ultimate consequences every moment. Granted that this also is only interpretation, and you will be eager enough to make this objection, well, so much the better. All psychology hitherto has run aground on moral prejudices and timidities. It has not dared to launch out into the depths, insofar as it is allowable to recognize in that which has hitherto been written evidence of that which has hitherto been kept silent. It seems as if nobody had yet harbored the notion of psychology as the morphology and development doctrine of the will to power as I conceive of it. The power of moral prejudices has penetrated deeply into the most intellectual world, the world apparently most indifferent and unprejudiced, and has obviously operated in an injurious, obstructive, blinding, and distorting manner. A proper physiopsychology has to contend with conscious antagonism in the heart of the investigator. It has the heart against it, even a doctrine of the reciprocal conditionalness of the good and the bad impulses causes as refined immorality, distress, and aversion in a still strong and manly conscience, still more so a doctrine of the derivation of all good impulses from bad ones. If, however, a person should regard even the emotions of hatred, envy, covetousness, and imperiousness as life-conditioning emotions, as factors which may be present fundamentally and essentially in the general economy of life, which must therefore be further developed if life is to be further developed. He will suffer from such a view of things as from seasickness, and yet the hypothesis is far from being the strangest and most painful in the immense and almost new domain of dangerous knowledge, and there are in fact 100 good reasons why everyone should keep away from it who can do so. On the other hand, if one has once drifted hither with one's bark, well, very good. Now let us set our teeth firmly. Let us open our eyes and keep our hand fast on open our eyes and keep our hand fast on the helm. I corrected myself, damn you. We sail away right over. We crushed out. We destroy perhaps the remains of our own morality by daring to make our voyage thither. But what do we matter? Never yet did a profounder world of insight reveal itself to daring travelers and adventurers, and the psychologist who thus makes a sacrifice. It is not the sacrificio del intelletto, on the contrary, will at least be entitled to demand in return that psychology shall once more be recognized as the queen of the sciences, for whose service and equipment the other sciences exist, for psychology is once more the path to the fundamental problems. Okay, that's it.
All right. Well, that's part one of Friedrich Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. I think one thing that'll make our reading very unique is that we're reading two completely different versions.
Yeah.
And so, like every time we switch, it's different versions, so, the translation's different, but at
least it's numbered so we don't get lost.
Yeah. That definitely makes it easier. I do wonder, did Freud write in German originally as well, or...?
Yeah.
So there's probably going to be differences in translations when we do interpretation of dreams as well.
Yeah, but at least when we read, Ayn Rand, that'll be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because it's just...
All right, well...
Someone by the name of Rabid Waffles, who I actually know about because I did a video responding to one of their videos 2 years back, which we will explain later. They comment, Valerie Flowers is the best YouTuber. I'm his biggest fan. He really entertains me with his videos. What a guy. Hilarious and original. Hilarious and original. Hilarious and original.